Okay, welcome back everyone to another Pathfinder's guide on how to kill the Zeds, and today we have the remaining 5 perks, which are the Firebug, Gunslinger, Sharpshooter, Survivalist and the SWAT. Okay, what to do with your Firebug against Fleshpounds? Well, the Firebug actually has some good things to it. You can stumble the Fleshpound, you can push the Fleshpound back, and you can make him panic. Now, while you do those 3 things, your teammates are going to gladly shoot the Fleshpound because he's going to be stumbled and all confused and stuff like that. So the Firebug is actually quite a good Fleshpound killer, and scrake killer as well, but that's for another video. Okay, as you saw a couple of seconds ago, the microwave gun is a very easy weapon for Fleshpounds. It has something called ground fire. You shoot at the ground in front of the Fleshpound to catch him on fire, and then he starts panicking. While he is in his panic stage, you just shoot him with burst fires from the microwave, and if he gets close, you just use the alternative fire and push him back. Simple. Now, there are a lot of different ways to kill something big with the Firebug. I'm just showing you my personal strategies here. You can use different combinations like microwave and trench gun like I have here. You can just use the microwave, or instead of the microwave you can use a flamethrower. Everything works. The main thing with the Firebug is to get any Zed into panic mode, and then they are close to useless. If you want to conserve some ammo for your microwave, then just throw a couple of grenades at the target so it starts to panic. Now, while the microwave gun has an advantage over all the other weapons because it can push Zeds back, that doesn't mean that the other weapons are bad, as you can see here with the trench gun. And don't forget, this is a solo Hell on Earth scenario. If you play a 6-player Hell on Earth game, the Zeds will have more health. Overall, I get the Firebug a thumbs up for killing Fleshpounds. It's quite a good perk for it. Okay, here we go, now the Gunslinger time. Now, the only thing you need to know about the Gunslinger, when you reach level 10, you have a choice of 2 skills. You either have Rack 'em Up, or you have Bone Crusher. Now, I always played with the Bone Crusher, which is increased damage with perk weapons by 20% and inflict 30% more damage to arms and legs. But, I recently found out that Rack 'em Up is actually OP as fuck on this perk. And the Rack 'em Up is pretty much consecutive headshots with perk weapon increases damage by 10% to a maximum of 50%. So if you get 5 accurate headshots, you have 50% more damage, which is actually OP, as you're going to see here. Now, while I was talking about the Rack 'em Up skill, I mean, just look at what it does. Just with the sheer amount of damage that you do when you actually get those 5 headshots, you pretty much do 50% damage with each and every shot once you get 5 headshots. I mean, just look at this. Even with the 1911s, they are just like, I'm not gonna say they're weak because they're actually quite good weapons, but they're in the weak part of the Gunslinger's weapons, and you can still kill a Fleshpound with ease. The Gunslinger is just a great perk for killing Fleshpounds in general. On top of that, the Gunslinger is actually fast, so if you miss or do something wrong, then you can at least run away. So the bottom line of the Gunslinger is that you need to be accurate with your shots. Take your time and aim your shots, and when you actually get used to the Gunslinger, it's just going to be amazing. Now, let's head into my second favorite perk for killing Fleshpounds, which is the Sharpshooter. Now, what do you need to know about the Sharpshooter? Well, its guns are all made for headshotting. It's in the name, you know, Sharpshooter, you need to shoot for the head. Therefore, every single weapon you have can kill a Fleshpound, one way or the other. Now, as you can see here, the crossbow is a wonderful example on killing Fleshpounds. Arrows just kills the Fleshpound, just no problem. And keep in mind, this is also solo, so it's a bit easier to kill Fleshpounds, but in multiplayer it's kind of the same. You just pretty much throw 2 arrows at its head, it's gonna rage, it's going to punch you like once, then you just throw a freeze grenade at him and he's dead. Now, my personal best weapon to kill Fleshpounds with is the railgun, as you're going to see here. Now, the railgun has to be your main weapon to kill big Zeds with. The crossbow and the ABR are also good, but the railgun can just kill them with a relative ease. If you get like 4 or 5 Fleshpounds just running at you, well, the railgun's got you covered, I guess. Now keep in mind, the railgun has two firing modes, lock-on mode and your normal mode. Now the normal mode does full damage, and the lock-on mode does half of the damage. And don't forget, as the sharpshooter you have something called freeze grenades, you just throw them at the fleshpounds and kill them that way. Okay, now let's head right into the self-explanatory perk, which is the Survivalist. Now with the Survivalist you can use every top tier weapon from other perks and kill the fleshpounds. For example, you can use the Whiz Raider from the Berserker, you can use the Boomstick from the support, you can use the AA-12 from the support, you can use the RPG from the Demolitionist, you can pretty much use every single top tier weapon or a high damage dealing weapon and use it. The Survivalist is the perk that suits your playstyle. Now for me, I use the Survivalist as a Demolitionist. I use the RPG, but if you like the Firebug, then you can use the Microwave. Simple as that. Now there are no real secrets to killing fleshpounds with your Survivalist, it's just like all the other perks. Now as you can see here, the Survivalist is just as good at killing fleshpounds as any other perk, which makes it good in my book. Okay, now let's head into the last perk we have, which is the SWAT. The only real thing that makes the SWAT good for killing any large Zeds are his stun grenades. When you throw your stun grenade, you immobilize the target for a few seconds, and those few seconds are all you need to shoot at its head. The high rate of fire and decent damage on the SWAT weapons easily decapitate the fleshpound's head. Now a lot of people say that the SWAT is actually terrible for killing big Zeds, but that is not the case at all. As I said before, the SWAT has high rate of fire guns, which make them great for consecutive headshots. That means that the health points of the fleshpound's head drop quite fast. And even if you don't have any stun grenades, you have 150 armor that can save you if you mess up. The SWAT isn't only good for killing small Zeds, as you saw here, the SWAT can kill a lot of big things as well. How to kill the Fleshpound. Episode 1 has been finished. Now, for the second episode, we're going to be looking at the scrake. Killing the scrake with every perk, so stick around for that. Now you're probably asking, Pathfinder, what are your top 3 perks for killing Fleshpounds? And I can answer that with number 1, the Demolitionist. Number 2, the Sharpshooter. And number 3, the Berserker. And if I had to pick a 4th place, it would probably go to the Gunslinger. Now I'm just going to roll a few clips of me killing Fleshpounds with all my top 3 favorite perks. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like for more, subscribe for more, and yeah. If you guys have any, any other suggestions on what I should do with Killing Floor in the future, then be sure to leave it in the comments. And yeah, until then, see you guys.
Fleshpound! Yes! Going for the heavy assault! Yeah! There you are! Miststück! Have you? There you are, Erwischt! Straße! Just like being in a foxhole. Next now! Fleshpound! Where? Yes! Someone insult that one's mother? Fleshpound!